Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Zendrop Live, now hosted on YouTube. My name is Kennedy, and I'm here with Zendrop, and we host Zendrop Live every single week so that we can connect with you guys, get to know you guys a little bit better, and then also answer any questions you have about e-commerce, entrepreneurship, or Zendrop platform live and in stereo. So before I get started, I want to remind you guys that we do have a Facebook group called Zendrop Exclusive. The link to join the Facebook group is actually in the description below. This Facebook group is an awesome resource for anyone in the Zendrop community or anyone who is interested in starting a dropshipping store. The Zendrop leadership is in there all the time, and we're there to answer any questions you may have. We're also talking about trending products, as well as any new news that's going on with Zendrop. So if you haven't already joined, I highly recommend clicking the link below for Zendrop Exclusive, the Zendrop Facebook group. Also, if you are new to dropshipping or are interested in kind of just refreshing some of your skills in terms of marketing or anything having to do with e-commerce, definitely check out Zen Rocket Challenge. The link to join Zen Rocket Challenge is also in the description below. The Zen Rocket Challenge is a 10-day challenge all about starting your own dropshipping store start to finish. We go through everything, including how to utilize the Zendrop platform, choosing trending products, building your Shopify store, as well as any marketing tactics and any ways to use Facebook advertising for your dropshipping store. So we go through all of it start to finish in the Zen Rocket Challenge. So go ahead and check that out if you are interested as well. Also, with the Zen Rocket Challenge is 30 days free on our Pro membership. So if you haven't signed up for Pro and you want to try out all of the different features that Zendrop Pro offers, this is an awesome way to get 30 days free. Because if you just sign up through the website, you only get 7 days free on the Pro membership. So definitely check that out. For those of you who haven't joined Zendrop Live before, just a little rundown on how it works. I actually compiled a bunch of questions that you guys have asked through the Zendrop Live survey already, but I also want to make sure that I'm getting to each and every one of your questions as well. So you can go ahead and drop in the chat any questions that you have for me, and I'm happy to answer them. Before we get started, I'd love to hear where all of you guys are tuning in from and watching. I'm currently based in Los Angeles, so let me know in the chat where in the world you live, where in the world the Zendrop community is logging in from. I'd love to say hello to you guys. In the meantime, I have some questions already queued up, so I'm going to go ahead and run through those for you guys. And then if you have any additional questions, again, please drop them in the chat and I will be happy to answer them. Another Angelino, happy to have you here. Okay, great. So the first question that we got was regarding one of Zendrop's newest features, which are subscription boxes. So if you haven't already heard, Zendrop just recently launched a really, really cool way to create recurring revenue for your online store, and that is subscription boxes. So how subscription boxes work essentially is we are able now to bundle a varied number of products together in a single package and then send them out to our customers on an incremental basis while creating recurring revenue. So you are charging them monthly for a box that will be sent to your customer full of all types of products that you get to designate. So you get to build your own subscription boxes and build them to work with your niche. So this is an awesome way to combat a lot of the very standard problems we hear about in terms of dropshipping, one of which being long shipping times. The subscription box model really helps combat that because you're sending these to your customers on a monthly basis. They're expecting a new product or a new bundle of products every 30 days. Zendrop's shipping times are already fairly fast, and we take a lot of pride in that, but they're still about from 10 to 14 days, depending on where in the world you live. So having a product be sent to your customer every single month really combats the typical complaint from customers of, a 10-day shipping time or something like that. So if you haven't already utilized subscription boxes in your online store, it does not matter what niche you are selling. This is an awesome way for you to create recurring revenue on your store. Typically, how I would recommend going about this is one of two ways. First and foremost, you can create a really great brand rapport with your customers through utilizing subscription boxes. So the subscription box has a purpose. I'll give an example of baby clothes, right, for parents. So obviously, every single month, your baby starts to grow and pretty much grows out of clothes really, really fast. And it's a common problem that a lot of mothers and parents have. So you can easily create a subscription box with baby clothes that get up in size each month based on the average growth of a child. This is an awesome way to create recurring revenue because a mother will be expecting new clothing items in their mail every single month that is more coherent with the size of their child at the time. Again, this is just one example. It does not matter what niche you are selling. This is an awesome thing to incorporate into your online store. If you already haven't started looking at subscription boxes, you can go ahead and sign up for Zendrop Pro. It is a pro feature, and go ahead and test it out for yourself. We have a lot of resources on YouTube right now. If you search subscription boxes underneath the Zendrop YouTube on how to utilize subscription boxes. And we have a lot more resources coming in terms of great ways to market this. So stay tuned for that and definitely check it out if you haven't already. Another question that I received was how to deal with angry customers. If any of you already know who Brad Luffler is, he is our COO here at Zendrop, and he is really, really good at customer support. In fact, we just recorded a podcast today all about customer support that'll be out next week. So I will actually paraphrase what he said today to answer this question. So when it comes to dealing with customer support, it is always important to be transparent. Transparency is key in order to maintain a relationship with your customers. In terms of angry customers, there are obviously two types of angry customers. There is the angry customer that actually has a reason to be angry because something happened with their packaging or they didn't get their product in time, or maybe you as a new dropshipping store weren't fully transparent. So there are those customers, and there are also the customers that are what I like to call irrationally angry, meaning that they don't have all of the necessary knowledge to fully understand what they're asking, or maybe they ignored that knowledge, okay? So angry customer number two, there's not much you can do in terms of owning up to your mistakes because there isn't really any mistakes that you made. It's all about managing the relationship with that customer. The best way to do so is to be transparent again, reiterate everything and all the messaging that is already on your website and in your email confirmations to your customer. And if they are still not satisfied with your services, unfortunately, it might result in a refund, but at least you kept the integrity of your store and you kept the integrity of the way you handle customers. Now, if you're dealing with angry customers who actually have a reason to be angry, something might have happened maybe out of your control, but yet it's still something that happened negatively in your business. The best thing to do is also own up to whatever issue might have come to hand. Try to resolve it in the best way possible, whether that is offering a refund, maybe free shipping on their next product, maybe a discount, something to really make sure that they know that you value them as a customer, and yet you are not allowing them to berate you as a business. So those are kind of the two types of angry customers and how I would recommend dealing with them. If you want more information on that, definitely make sure to check out next week's podcast that'll come out on Monday, where Brad goes into grave detail about customer service and how to handle it accurately for an online store. The next question that I received was from a customer who couldn't find a product they wanted to sell on Zendrop, but it was on Aliexpress. Can I get that product on Zendrop? The answer is yes, 100%. So Zendrop has a really cool feature called the Aliexpress Import feature, where basically we can import and source any product that you find on Aliexpress to Zendrop, and therefore we will fulfill it for you versus Aliexpress. This button, you can go ahead and find this by if you are looking at the Find Products page on your Zendrop dashboard. If you go ahead and search whatever you want to search, whatever term it is, maybe it's electronics, phone cases, leggings, what have you, scroll down to the bottom of the first page and you should see an orange rectangular button that says Aliexpress Import. So what you're going to go ahead and do is click on that button and paste the URL of the product from Aliexpress in that box that will show up. What this will do, it will automatically put that AliExpress product in your import list, and you can go about your business just as usual in terms of how you're importing that product to your Shopify store. Basically, how this works on the back end is we will list that product for you. We will not source the product or fulfill it until you make your first sale on the product. This costs nothing to you or anything of the sort. And once you have started selling that product, we will get that into our warehouses immediately for you. So this is an awesome way to incorporate more products that you might not find on Zendrop. The Zendrop product catalog is constantly growing, and yet there are still millions upon millions of products out there that we don't yet have imported into our product list. So we want to make sure we're importing products that you as our Zendrop users want to sell. So this is a great way for you to take in the power in terms of the products that we're selling online. Another question that I received was about my thoughts in terms of the Instagram and Facebook shopping tool. So we've talked a lot about utilizing social media to really elevate your brand from just an online store to a recognizable business or company name. And one great way to do that is through the Instagram and Facebook shopping tool. So if you're not familiar with what this tool is, if you are a designated business on Instagram and Facebook, you will have the opportunity to sync the products that you sell on your website to your Instagram and Facebook so that it shows up in a shoppable feed on that social media platform. This is a really awesome way to get customers to purchase from you quicker. And it's an awesome way to really build your social media presence as well. This feature makes it really easy for potential customers to find curated products from your website and immediately purchase them in the Instagram or Facebook app. This doesn't cost any money to you at all. And it's easy for your customers to check out on Instagram or Facebook, just like it is to check out on your website itself. I definitely love this tool, and I think that's a really great way to build brand rapport. It's also a really great way to navigate people to your social media platforms if you're focusing on growing those social channels. Now, if you're a new dropshipping store, you probably do not have the time or energy to fully invest in building curated social media platforms, and that's totally okay. You definitely have to allocate your time to what is going to produce the most revenue for you upfront. And most of the time, that is usually Facebook advertising. So definitely focus your time there in terms of curation, but this is a really easy thing to tack onto your social media channels in order to start creating activity on your social media. So if you haven't already, I would definitely set up your Instagram and Facebook shopping tool. If you're not really sure how to do so, there's a lot of resources online for it. You can simply just Google how to set up the Instagram shopping tool, and many resources should pop up in terms of the best ways to utilize this. So I hope that answers that question. Also, if any of you guys have any questions, just a reminder, feel free to drop them in the chat. I would love to answer any live questions as well, but I will continue through my list of questions until then. Another question I got is, what is the most important thing to start focusing on when you're starting a new dropshipping store? This question, I think you could probably ask 20 e-commerce experts and they would all give you different answers. So do not take my question to heart as the be-all end-all answer. All e-commerce stores kind of build and grow differently. But in my experience, based on our Zendrop users and the select clients that we have that are highly successful, the major thing that you really need to focus on is curation of your products and testing of your products. By this, I mean, you do not want to be focusing on having just 10 products and making them work, even if they're not selling. You want to have a really long list of potential products that fit within your store niche to continue to test to make sure that you find those winners. A lot of parts of the dropshipping model you really can't focus on unless you have the funding in order to outsource and or curate more, specifically because a lot of new dropshippers are limited in their budget. So you want to make sure that you're doing everything you can in the beginning that requires minimal effort with the largest output and or revenue, right? So having your products really aligned and branded is going to be super important. In terms of building your online store, if that's the direction this question was going, the most important thing to focus on is your product pages. When you start running Facebook advertising, you will run your ads directly to individual product pages, depending on which product you're marketing through Facebook. And so this will be the second touch point a customer will have in order to decide if they want to purchase your product. So you want to make sure that your product pages are fully optimized and make it really easy for your customer to want to continue clicking add to cart. A few strategies here are limiting the number of words in your product description, but also making sure that your product description messaging is curated toward your ideal customer or your ideal avatar. If you're not sure what that is, we have a video on YouTube all about your ideal avatar, so definitely check that out. You also want to make sure that your add to cart button is nice and large and a really vibrant color, separate from the rest of your store so it's easy to see. Another great thing to focus on is the actual photos or videos of your product, making sure that they're most professional as possible. And then as well as adding reviews to your product page if you haven't already. Again, like I said, you can ask 20 different e-commerce experts and they will all have different answers in terms of what is most important to focus on. But with limited time and limited budgets, definitely focus most on testing products and optimizing your product pages. One person asked, are we able to sell the products we already have on eBay through Audio DS with Zendrop? So we do not integrate with eBay right now. This sounds like a question for our fulfillment company or for our fulfillment team. If you are asking if you can sell our products on eBay, the answer is no right now, but we are actively working on integrating with other e-commerce platforms right now. So hopefully very soon that will be an ability. But if you have any very specific questions in terms of fulfillment, I would definitely recommend reaching out to support@zendrop.com. Our support team is the literal dictionary for Zendrop and e-commerce. They know, I think, every single in and out of the e-commerce business, specifically through Zendrop. So they will be happy to point you in the right direction. Bevan asks, what would you recommend for someone starting a dropshipping store as far as testing ads when in my case, my personal Facebook account was disabled? Again, this is a very, very common problem when it comes to dropshipping. The first thing you're going to want to try is creating a new Facebook account and or using a spouse, significant other, or friend or family member's Facebook account. Unfortunately, Facebook is really difficult to get a hold of, and it's really hard to re-enable any of your Facebook ads that are already disabled. And so this is a pretty common problem. If you've already tried utilizing all of those platforms, your next best bet is to completely create a new Facebook account under a different email, under a different name. You might even have to redirect your store URL to a different pixel. There are a lot of different ways around this. Unfortunately, Facebook is super finicky and can be super annoying to the dropshipper. Trust me, I understand. So if you already have gone through all the routes of your friends and family, try to completely create a new Facebook everything with completely new contact information. That way Facebook cannot detect that it was connected to a previous account. And then as much as important as keeping the same pixel usually is, they track your identifiers and your IP address. Then try to use a VPN to change your IP address. I am not a developer and I do not know too much information in terms of how that works, but our development team has used that as a recommendation before, utilizing a VPN to hide your IP address in order to create new Facebook accounts. So definitely try that as well. If you have any other specific questions in terms of VPNs or ways around the Facebook ads mess, also reach out to support@zendrop.com. They are pretty much the be-all end-all in terms of all of those specific cases that might have to do. Bevan, you are just hitting all the problems over here with your Facebook account. Okay, so like I said, reach out to support for any other tips and tricks that you might have. But another great way to combat this is to step away from Facebook advertising and start focusing on affiliate advertising, influencer advertising, and Google ads. This is also equally as important. Facebook is definitely a problem. I would 100% agree. So when you're utilizing Facebook as the one means of marketing for your store, you're putting all your eggs in too many baskets, and your story, Bevan, is not unique. So many people have gone through this issue as well. So I would definitely recommend going the route of affiliate marketing, influencer marketing, and Google advertising. The reason why affiliate marketing and influencer marketing are great, and that actually leads into another question that a user had, which is what's better, using influencer advertising or affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing is a great way to actually test multiple products at the same time without spitting out too much cash. In fact, you spit out no cash when you have to utilize affiliate marketing. You only spit out cash when the affiliate makes a sale for you. So this would be an awesome way to test out multiple products in the interim while you're trying to figure out your Facebook ads issue. Because you can easily reach out to many different micro influencers and say, hey, if you market this product for me, I will give you X% for anyone that you sell through your unique link. And then that's a great way to start tracking which products are selling well and which products are not selling well. Again, I'm trying to give you ways around the really standard issue of Facebook in general. None of them are going to be perfect, just like obviously Facebook isn't perfect either. But this is a really great time to get creative and start testing other ways of getting your product out there. One thing that's really that's important to keep in mind, that every product is a winning product if you can spin the correct narrative. Now, I say that cautiously because obviously there are certain things that are just bad products or are not useful to a large audience. But every product can be a good product if you've seen the trends of these products online. You just need to spin the correct narrative and get it in front of the right eyes. This takes a little bit of your marketing brain to do, but it's also kind of fun and creative at the same time. So depending on what your niche is, it's pretty easy to go search online for your competitors and find products that they're selling that are clearly doing well. For example, if you're in electronics, and Bevan, if you want to give me the type of store niche you're in, I could probably give you an example as well. But for example, if you're in electronics, for example, a great place to go would be Best Buy. Go to Best Buy and see what types of trending products are selling that are pretty standard and not outrageously expensive. You can easily find 4 or 5 that might be doing well, add them to your online store, and then start reaching out to affiliates and influencers to test those products for you. Again, Facebook is a menace, and so I totally feel your pain. So if you really still want to try the paid advertising route, try Google and YouTube because they're not affiliated with Facebook. So they do not follow the same rules. SEO Buyer and Ask, is the goodie box style shipping bundle available to everyone yet? It is available to our pro members. So yes, it's widely available on Zendrop. Anyone can utilize it. However, it is still underneath our pro membership. Our pro membership also has a lot of other incredible features that really help you build your brand. And so if you missed it at the beginning of the video, what I said is that you have a 7-day free trial on Pro if you haven't already signed up yet. But also, if you go through the Zen Rocket challenge link below in the description of this video, you'll actually get 30 days free on the Pro membership. So that'll give you a little bit more time to start focusing on subscription boxes and bundles and testing out if that's right for your store. Hint, it's right for everyone's store, but it does take a little bit of time to really figure out how it's going to be best working for your store. So Bevan, let's go back to your question for a second, because I think it's fun to problem solve these types of things. Bevan states that their niche is trendy hipster chick accessories. So I'm going to say anything boho or kind of cute and, trinkets and accessories and things like that. This is an awesome thing to test with affiliates and influencers. Actually, you're in the perfect niche for this. There are not many influencers that are going to say no to free gifts. And if you are working with the lower tier influencers in the between 5,000 to 10,000 range, odds are if you gift it to them, they'll probably still post about it anyway. Just want to make sure that your social media is also curated well so that they feel confident in marketing your product. Cool. Anyone else who has questions, please drop them in the chat below and I will answer it. I'm going to go back to that question about affiliates versus influencers really quick because it seems like it might be beneficial to a lot of you guys. So the difference between affiliates and influencer marketing, affiliates, you do not pay them out until they make a sale for you, meaning that if I'm selling this phone case to my customers and influencer number one puts their link in their social media and one person clicks on it and buys it, I'm going to pay that affiliate a percentage of the sale for selling that for me. If affiliate number two does the same thing but does not make a sale, they get no money. So this is a cheap way and it's a free upfront cost way for you to market your product and also still provide benefit to your affiliates. The downside to affiliate marketing is that you have less control of the narrative that these influencers or affiliates are talking about your product. Since you're not paying them outright, you have less creative control. So if your major focus is to curate a brand or a lifestyle behind your brand, then this might not be the way you want to go until you've further curated your brand on your own, because you're putting all of the control in the affiliate's hands. Now, if you're not necessarily very skilled in building your brand and you kind of want to utilize these affiliates' creativity to kind of shape the way and the lifestyle that your brand creates online, so be it. That's an awesome way to do so. Now, if you want to go the influencer marketing route, that is one of my personal favorite ways to get your product out there, because people who trust in other people are more likely to purchase something that they are talking about versus if you see that same thing on Facebook, right? Or a Facebook ad. So if you really have the time and energy and a little bit more budget in terms of marketing, I would definitely recommend looking at influencer marketing. This way you can kind of create a community of higher respected and higher followed individuals within your niche that are talking about your product and therefore creating a lifestyle behind it. Now, the downside here is it is a little bit more expensive. Many influencers do charge fairly high prices, but usually the content is definitely worth it if you vet and cast the right influencers. The other problem here is that for both of these aspects of marketing, you cannot just employ one affiliate or one influencer. You need to kind of cast a major menu of individuals in order to see return on investment for this, meaning that you'll need 15 to 20 influencers posting about your product all within a week's span of time in order to really start getting some traction there. This is true for Facebook as well. If you just run a Facebook ad for one day and then shut it off, you're never really going to see an actual return on investment or really see how it's performing. So that's kind of my 2 cents on influencer and affiliate marketing. I personally talk about this all the time. There's lots of resources on our YouTube all about influencer marketing. So if you want to know more about that, definitely check it out below, or definitely check it out on our YouTube channel. So I will utilize Bevan's last comment to talk about a little bit more about social media in terms of brands, because I think it's an important thing that a lot of new dropshippers don't focus on. That's totally normal. If you don't have a lot of time to spend on things, you want to be spending time on things that are going to be making you the most money in the beginning. But when it comes to transforming your brand from just a generic store to a recognizable company name, having a social media presence is very important. In terms of if you don't have any social media started just yet, my personal recommendation in terms of socials to focus on are definitely Instagram and TikTok. TikTok is the fastest growing social media platform to date, and its algorithm makes it really easy for your brand to get recognized online. So definitely play around with TikTok if that's something that you haven't done already. There are many different ways to advertise your products on TikTok to get recognition and also, of course, sales and revenue. We actually have another video on our YouTube channel all about TikTok. So go ahead and search TikTok on Zendrop's YouTube and it should pop up as well. And it is me talking about all of my favorite TikTok tips that are confirmed to make you viral online. Do we have any last minute questions before we end this week's Zendrop Live? I am out of questions for you guys. You can ask about anything and everything, e-commerce, Zendrop, marketing, about me if you preferred, anything and everything you want to ask, we can answer on live. All right, cool. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us or joining me this week for Zendrop Live. We will have another one next week for you guys. Just as a reminder, please make sure to join the Zendrop Live or Zendrop exclusive Facebook group. The link to do so is in the description below. This Facebook group is where you can get all of your questions answered very quickly in terms of products, trending products, the Zendrop platform, all that kind of stuff, right there in the Zendrop Facebook group. Also, if you're a new dropshipper and you want to learn more about building an actual successful store, make sure to check out the Zen Rocket challenge. The link is also in the description below. That also comes with a 30-day free trial to Zendrop Pro. So you can go ahead and check out those subscription boxes. So thank you guys so much for joining, and I will see you next week.